Hey there, I'm coming into the frame. I just needed to get the phone recording before I did that. I thought that I would kind of do a review of my library in case anybody is kind of inspired by it. I got things put into the cabinet just yesterday, and I was just looking at it thinking this might be a good thing to share with you guys. I just got back from an appointment with the pain management doctor. So I need a distraction. I need to think about quilting. I need to think about you guys and connecting with you. So I thought, since I just did this yesterday, it would be a good time to go over it. I don't know. I don't have any pre-described plan about how to do this or how it might have value for you. But as I was handling everything that I put in here, I was thinking, I think I would enjoy seeing what's in someone else's quilting library. So I'm going to get the phone and bring it a little bit closer and open up the doors so that we can see things a little bit better. Because I know, I got to move the table a little bit because I'm bumping it. I'll do that whenever I get over there. The light is not absolutely great on that bottom shelf, but you can see that I don't have the bottom section of this cabinet loaded up as far as I've gotten. Let me move this chair too so I can get in there now that the door is open. So all you really needed to see down here is that this is where I put like the flimsy, like the things that are specifically patterned or flimsy, like, flimsy little magazine or something like that. This is an old one, way back from back in the day. It's called Threads. What year is this from? This is from, doesn't say it on the outside. Let's look on the inside. But there's a couple of interesting things in here that I really did like. So I kept it. I didn't toss it. Where's my year? Surely there's a year on this somewhere. Should be on the publisher's page, which is right where I went to. Oh, it's from the year 2000, August, September issue of 2000. And there was something interesting in here about how you can, I forget what they call it, but it's like, no mark quilting. So you can use your sewing machine without thread to mark where you want to quilt. And then you take your quilt sandwich out from underneath your sewing machine, and you've got nice little neat lines that you can then follow. I haven't read that in a little bit, but it's something I want to come back to at some point. So, I've got, this is from Pin Cut Sew, Nikki there. This is her ragdoll collection. This is her kit, not her kit, but her instructions for how to make ragdolls. I think it was the owl in there that I really did like. I don't see the owl, but so I've got whoops, rainbow scraps from laundry baskets. So it might be good to just go through this in a separate video altogether. I think in this one, to kind of make it nice and quick and see if you guys even care about this kind of stuff, I'll just kind of go over overall what has caught my interest and that I have deemed worthy of my cash and of my space. I'm trying my best to get my life consolidated. This is a large house. I don't need a large space. If I ever need to move because my health has gotten even worse, then will not be the time for me to pare down to what fits into a one bedroom somewhere, a one bedroom apartment or nursing home or, whatever the situation is. Or if I have to go live with somebody, if I have to be scaled down, I want to do it while I'm as functional as I am now. So I've really been trying to consolidate, but even outside of what my future might hold health-wise, I want to be responsible and not have extra stuff. Extra stuff just burdens us. It just is just an unnecessary thing. It just weighs on us that it's just stuff that needs to be maintained, needs to be stored, whatever. That's my philosophy on that. And when I pass, I want to have my life in order so that it is not a problem for other people. So with all that said, this is the space I am allocating to my quilting library. And I really want it to just be no more than from here up. And then the 2 shelves below that can be for other things quilt wise. I love books. I have bought a lot of books in my time. I love to learn. I love to handle a book. But I know that I have to use my resources wisely, money wise too. And once I've looked at something, I don't always feel like it's something I'm going to come back to. So there are some things that I have donated, and these are things that I'm holding on to right now. This is what I've got. So I was doing the Quilt Folk subscription for a while. I have now switched over to, what is it? Yeah, Quilting Arts. That's where my subscription is right now. And I love Quilting Arts. I did not realize that I had access online to a lot of great videos that they're producing. Some artists that they have invited in there to give us instructions. So that's a resource that I need to start tapping into, because my subscription for the quilt show just ended. And you guys know that my health situation has it so where I have to be very, 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 very frugal with money. So I'm not renewing the quilt show right now. I can't wait until I can, maybe one day, but not right now. I do love everything about the quilt show. So that is not me. That's not a statement about me being unhappy with the quilt show. So this is a book. I want to be able to make things for the home. And so I got this book, and it's called The Quilted Home Handbook by Wendy Chow. And there's just a lot of things in it that I thought would be very inspiring. I want to learn how to make some small things that I can sell in a consignment shop or things like that. Flipping the pages and not getting to any really pretty pictures here. But it was a well-published book, and I thought there'd be some things in here I could learn. And I like the aesthetic, her book design aesthetic. And there's a part of me that would love to be able to do that one day. It's probably going to be a good 5-8 years before I could even think that my health would be stable enough to dive into that. And we'll see if I even have the same calling at that point. So I do have a couple of my flimsies up here. I could put them down here, I guess. So I've got a few of the American Patchwork. This one's called Fine Hand Quilting. I kind of inherited this one from my son-in-law's grandmother when she passed. And I love hand quilting, so it's a good resource and it's in great shape, so I did keep it. There's one here that I had since way back in another era of my life, the Crazy Quilt Odyssey. Let me show that to you. So it's Adventures in Victorian Needlework. I love this kind of thing. If you remember back to my unicorn quilt, like there's a lot of handwork really speaks to me, and adding that to quilts and adding texture like that really speaks to me. And I wish this content was produced here, what's that word? In a contemporary fashion, to where it's more visually enticing. It's all black and white photos. You can see it's clearly from another era. I believe it was the early 90s. Let me look and see. It's from C&T Publishing. Yeah, 1991. And I'm not digging. What's that word? Is that digging? Dogging, sorry. That is not a dig at this publication. I'm not dogging it at all. There's things in here I want to learn. So that one I hang on to. So what is this one? This is an older one too, for American Quilter. I believe it's older. Highlights of the 10th annual AQS Quilt Show contest. That tells me it's older. Let's see, 1994. A couple of these vintage things I thought were worthy of hanging on to. You know, I can just see my granddaughter or granddaughters by the time I pass going through my things and seeing what had my interest. And so that's another reason why I want to pare down to just having things that truly do interest me, right? So it's not just a lot of noise when they come into my home to get rid of things. This is wool applique folk art. I love wool applique, and I want to learn how to do more of that. It really speaks to my desire to have texture in a quilt. So I want to really do a lot of mixed media. What is the year on this one? This is a more recent publication, I do believe, 2015. I just love everything about wool applique too. I think I was in the middle of a sentence there that I did not finish. This is kind of inspiring to me. I don't remember where I got this from. I think my mother had bought it for like a coloring book for one of her great-grandchildren, and I snatched it. It's a coloring book for adults. It's brain science, coloring for agility and fast learning. Okay, if you look at this is nothing but quilt patterns or quilting patterns, and I find them very inspiring. I've not colored any in it at all. I'm not one to just do that. I've kind of have a purpose behind everything I do, but I find each page inspires me differently, and I'm going to want to hang on to this and using it as kind of a foundation when I'm seeking inspiration. I can go through here and just flip and see what might jump out from the pages and say, hey, consider me. Let's see what we can do together. And then I've got this book back here. It's called Wool Pets. I think you can see that. I want to do more like that too. You know, the artist in me is screaming loud. It's like, I know you've got a lot that you're dealing with, so why don't we just play? I want to play. I want to do a lot of playing, but you know, life is what it is. We can't always just sit and play, right? So I do have up here, this is the only book that I have that is not quilting. I don't know if you can tell from there. It's called The Carnivore Diet. And I'm getting rid of almost every other book that I own. Almost, not every one, but almost every one. The ones I have had that have historical value or literary value, I'm giving to my daughter because she has an expansive library, and she's going to be homeschooling all of her children, and you know she's going to need it, and she wants it. So a lot of them go in there. So I don't have any cookbooks. I've gotten rid of all my cookbooks. There's no need for them because I am on the carnivore diet. I need to learn how to make meats. So this is my carnivore diet. It's a coffee grinder that I used to use, and I'm going to be putting like threads and stuff in here, maybe bobbins or something like that. I love the grinder, but you know, my wrists don't need that. But I think it's a pretty thing, and I did try to sell it at one point, but nobody wanted it. If I had good wrists and good thumbs, I would do it because I love the crunch of the bean, and it makes your own coffee grinds your own coffee grounds, and then you can make your own coffee. It's just really a very almost spiritual, a very tactile way to enjoy your coffee. I just really enjoyed the experience. So that glass up there, and this one, and another one somewhere, I blew these glasses back in 2009, I believe it was. I had always wanted to do blown glass, so I signed up for a class, and I found out I am not made for doing that. It takes a lot of hand strength, a lot of arm strength, and it really works the wrist, works the thumbs, and you got to have lungs too, because for blowing it, and it just takes a lot of coordination, and I don't have that. This was fun though, so I'll never make anything else. So I keep these, and I keep my art pencils in them. These are my just Crayola ones. Been using these for my Bible journaling that I do here at the table. So we'll get down to this side in just a second. I think those are those are my pastels, and over there I've got my watercolor ones. We can look at that side too. There's just a little bit that's on the creative side over there. Most of what is over there is going to be more of my Bibles. So this book is, I hope you can see all the way up there. Let me see if I can get it down. This is called Cotton and Indigo from Japan. So I want to do an in-depth look into the study of cotton and understand really, the amount of art that we get, textile art that we get out of Japan is really inspiring, and it's leaves you in awe. So I want to study that more. That's the reason I got this book. So this is by Teresa, can't pronounce that middle name, but the last name is Wong, Cotton and Indigo from Japan. It's a great book, just requires some time to sit down and read. I'm going to go around to the back side and see if you can see in the camera what's over here to the left before I just start talking to you as if you can. So give me just a second here and I'll get back there behind the camera. Yeah, you can see it there, but it's kind of zoomed out. Let's zoom in a little bit. Yeah. Okay, so the book on the far left corner, behind the bookends, these were from my stepfather. They're really heavy marble, very, very, very heavy. They work out great. This is the, gosh, what do you call that? The Encyclopedia. I gotta look at the bottom of my glasses. Encyclopedia of Pieced Quilt Patterns. Love that. Talk about another book that you can go to for inspiration. All the quilt patterns, quilt blocks are in there, and it's a very well done book. If you have any interest in knowing the history of the quilt blocks and where they came from, different ways of making them, that's your book. This one, well, I guess I could show you on the inside of it. Let me just do that really quickly. So every section is a different, this is the unequal 9 patch, which is what I did with the quilt for my grandson. It was an unequal 9 patch. And then, so you can look at each different category and your awareness of the different blocks. See, this is category 9, which is equal 9 patch. See what the category 8 is. A lot of 9s, category 9. Category 8 is the 4 patch. So that's just your pattern category. Highly recommend this book. So you're going to get pictures, you're going to get reference notes of what it's called, and then you can figure out how it's pieced together by looking at the pattern there. I really do enjoy this book. You can also get, I believe, all these patterns if you have a subscription to, not a subscription, but if you own EQ8, you can also buy their package that's for that particular book. So it's all the quilt blocks. So this is one that a friend just gave me, which I haven't been able to dive into, American Quilts, the Democratic Art, from 1780 to 2007. So it's just another historical review. And she'd gotten this from a relative of hers who she was kind of like her mother, and it was in her library. She always had a very good library of books and whatever. So it was kept and then given to me. It's a lovely book and deserves some time spent with it. So this is the kind of thing that I would want to hang on to, so that, like I said, my granddaughter is just turned 2, but she loves quilts. She loves the textile, the texture of them. She loves to touch them, pet them. She gets up on my my cutting table, and I let her play with the mini, mini charm packs. She calls it making quilts, and she's just rearranging them on the table. She's just sitting there, Indian style with her legs crossed, and just really intensely looking at these little bitty pieces of fabric. She's gonna have an interest. I'm gonna make sure she does, because she has definitely shown at a very early age an interest in this, and it speaks to her on a level that it does her mother and I. So whenever I pass, this is the kind of book I would want her to have. have access to and to know that it mattered to me. But the magazines do too. Like I said, these floppies down here. Can you keep every one? No. So you got to kind of cherry pick. That doesn't mean we don't have the subscriptions or that we don't buy the other books. It's just okay to also let those come into our home and out of our home. My personal take on it. I think if you have been disabled and had to move, which I've had to do more than 2 or 3 times while disabled, you really start to care about how many things you own and you have possession of, that you are the one that it's your responsibility to manage. So there we go. I may or may not get off that high horse. Explorations with collage. So this is my collage section right here. This is by Wynne Redman. And this is some really artistic types of collage. This speaks to me in a very big way. Very big way. There's a lot of talent going on here. And this is the kind of thing that I want to explore. Like, talk about wanting to sit and play. That's definitely something I want to do. I also have 3 by, what is her name? Emily? Yeah, Emily Taylor. This is Take Flight, Fun with Textile Collage. She's got her own very easy to do, easy to replicate technique that is inspiring for all of us who are interested in this kind of thing. So I really enjoy her, and I watch her videos a lot, and I enjoy them. This one's called Collage Culture. It's just the essentials for success with collage quilts. So she's talking here about the fabric and the value of them, and how you, once you turn them into black and white, you can kind of get a feel for the value of your fabrics. It's funny when you watch her, she's real loosey-goosey about how she's putting all the little pieces of fabric down, and then it magically just all comes together. So it's one of those things where you say you just have to trust the process. So this one is Capture Your Own Life with Collage Quilting. Who is this by? Jane Hayworth. So she's taking a house and doing it, a dog, you know, nature, botanical, marine life. So there's a lot to learn in here too. So if you're going to be watching my channel, you're going to see more along this lines and along the lines of textured things, whether it's the felt or it's embroidery, that kind of thing. So before we get to talking about embroidery, which is this section right here, let's look at these last 2. I don't remember purchasing this one. I have a feeling that this is from 2020. I have a feeling that I didn't, that I got this from someone else, but I can't recall. But this is one of Ricky Tim's books, and I haven't been able to dive into it, which is another reason why I'm pretty sure I didn't buy it, because nothing stands out to me about why I purchased it, unless I purchased it early on, because I was looking for, when I first got into quilting, I was wanting to figure out, to learn some skills, so I could then learn how to have skills I could take into being creative. And so this one is just nothing but patterns. Not nothing but there's just a lot of patterns in it, and I thought it might be a good way for me to learn how to make different things. And that may have been why I bought this one, if I did indeed. I just don't have any clear memory, which is another reason why I think I may have done it too, because when I was first getting back into quilting, I was recovering from the OC fusion, and my spinal cord was still tethered, and I was having an allergic reaction to all the hardware that was in there. So to be learning anything about quilting was just done from the recliner and from YouTube, and I would have probably made some purchases then that I did not get to just yet. But I'm just saying, my mind was really focused on trying to avoid the pain that I was in and not setting down memories. So this is another one by that same author, Diana Leone. So this is probably going to be in that 1991 area. 1977 is when it first came out, and 1993 is when this one came out. So it's just another sampler with a lot of hand quilting. I have a feeling that this is one I bought way back in the 90s when I was first doing this. Okay, so what else do we have here? I have, this is my creative stitching. I got this one, it's a Sue Spargo. Love everything that Sue Spargo does. And this one I got because Alex Anderson recommended it, the Hand Embroidery Dictionary by Kristen Brown. It's great. Let me put this down so I can show it to you. So it's all the different stitches, and you can figure out how to paint your picture, you know, using needle and yarn or thread. So I really like the way this is laid out. That's the reason I bought it. Whenever Alex flipped through it a little bit and she was talking about it, like, okay, that might be exactly what I need. And I knew I needed something because when I started doing the unicorn quilt, the miniature unicorn quilt, I got so far and I knew I needed to do something as my next step, but I did not have the knowledge base to know what to do. Okay, this one is quilting just a little bit crazy. So it's along the lines of that other one that we just looked at. You know, it brings a little bit of tactile to just a basic quilt. You know, piecing, you just do some embroidery on top of it. But, you know, once you learn some of these skills, what you do with it is totally up to you. Totally up to whatever you can imagine. And that's something I really want to help inspire others to do, because I see others and they do it for me. Like, I love a good quilt, period, but I don't want to just follow someone else's pattern. I want, like I did with the quilt, what did I name it? The sketch plique, which was my watercolor aesthetic quilt that I just did, the very last one. That was so much fun. My gosh, that was so much fun. I just set out to have an objective, and I figured out how to get from point A to point B, and in that process was very fulfilling. It was, like I've been saying at nauseum, I've got a lot of pain I'm dealing with, got a lot of dysfunctions that I'm dealing with, and so something has to be really mentally engaging for it to, for me to be able to deal with my pain, and also for me to want to do it. It's got to really be hit me in the heart, you know, getting me to thinking about it when I'm not actually physically doing it. So that's what I want to get to. That's what I want to inspire others to do. That quilt, the watercolor one that I just did, I hope that one day I look back on that and think, oh gosh, Dawn, you were proud of that? Look at what you're doing now. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all got to start somewhere. Natalia Bonner says that. We all have to start somewhere, and I'm not afraid to start somewhere. But it starts by learning and getting a few skills, and then building on that, and building on that, and then not putting up guardrails, allowing yourself to veer off over here and veer off over here and veer off over there. And with that said, I want to show you something that I do for a little bit of that inspiration of how to veer off of the road. You know what I mean? I've already forgotten where this one book was. This one that is The Quilted Home. Where was it? Was it here? I think it was. So of course, y'all all know about the Quilt Folk. It's just a lot of different people are featured in it from different states. Arkansas, New Mexico, Washington, Bay Area, Georgia, New Jersey, Rhode Island, Minnesota, South Carolina, Northern Florida, Eastern Massachusetts, Utah, Oklahoma, Vermont, and Colorado. So how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I have 15. So it's 35 other states I don't have, and at this point I won't ever. So there's others in here that we can go through at another time. If you're interested in those, leave me a comment down below. I don't bend over very well, so I'm not going to bend over and pick up what fell onto the floor when we first opened this door. But it is the, like a, what do you call it? Like the directory for the local quilt show that happened 2 years ago. So, is that right? Yeah, so in 24. So we'll have another one coming up here in 26, it sounds like. So this is the set of books that I, move this, oops, see if I can open this up. Can you see that? Let me get over there and see what you can see. This is a set of books that inspire me. You can barely see it. Let's see. It's just a set right there. So it's the Color Scheme Bible, the Oil Painter's Bible, the Paint Effects Bible, Watercolor, Cartooning, and Perspective. 3 little books. And color mixing recipes. 2 different versions of this. This one's for oil and acrylic, and this one is oil and acrylic plus a special section for watercolor. And then I have more of my quilting arts. I think this is a recent one that came in, is it? Yeah, this is the fall of 2025. This one actually needs to go and sit over by my, look at this, isn't that just gorgeous? Yeah, I haven't finished reading this one. If I set this up here, it's gonna just, I won't finish reading it. And then basic colored pencil, just some basics in some other areas of artistic interest. And I've been following some artists on YouTube. One of them is Andrea Nelson. I really enjoy her watercolor tutorials. She does a great job of being quick and covers a lot of stuff without it taking a lot of time. Without it being so quick that, you know, there's no value to it either. So let me put these back in here. I think that went like that. So this is Learn to Dye and Print Fabric. This is something else I want to do. Whether it's botanical dyeing or with my Derwent ink tints, I want to explore. I want to explore a lot. I need to add about 50 to 80 more years to my life. I don't see that happening. I just turned 60. So Color Me Huntsville. Huntsville's where I'm from, and this is an artist in Huntsville. This one is Carol Foray. She worked with the city to produce this set of books. Carol's art is very whimsical, but also very Van Gogh era-ish at the same time. It's got a feel of both. Whimsical, and you see how the building is going kind of cockeyed there? That's a signature trait of hers. But how a painting like this would be for her would be heavy in oil and layered and just really quite yummy. All of her work is delightful. So there are 2 of these. No, I'm sorry, just only one by her. And then Christina Green. She does a lot of the things that are downtown. I just love them because it speaks to me. I don't plan to ever color in them, but it's something I wanted to keep. And this is artist Christina Wegman. So 3 lovely ladies with great talent. So everything else is my faith stuff. So there's no other art stuff in there. But this is all of my inspiring art books right now. I don't think I have anything else. I see one magazine over at my place at the sofa. I had inherited a set of books from my stepfather that I just loved owning, but I'm getting rid of them. I'm giving them to my daughter because they'll be great for her as she's doing homeschooling with her children as they go through the years, and for them to actually do some art history. Forget the name of the books, but each one is a beautiful, it's a beautiful production, and it's on different artists, whether it's Van Gogh or Monet or, you know, I think there's like 20 different books or more. That's it, my friends. That's it. I hope that there was something in this that made you say, hey, I want that book, or I kind of like this idea of just sticking to the basics and then letting that be where your inspiration is. Whatever. I just needed to speak to you. I needed to not think about medical stuff or health stuff and connect with you all and do something that was quilt oriented, even if it's just talking about books. My friends, thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging in there with me. I hope that one day, you know, and I don't know how long it's going to take, but I've got to get some relief before I can do much on a consistent basis. And even then, I can't push myself. So if you don't mind a channel that is like this, where you get unedited videos, you get them sporadically, and I just try to inspire and show the things that are of interest to me, then hang around and we'll all get to know each other a little bit better. You'll need to have grace for me, because some videos, even though it's an important one, like a couple of the ones I did most recently, they were just lackluster because I just felt really bad, but that's when I needed to make the video, just time-wise in my life, because I needed to gift the quilt, so I needed to do the video about the quilt before I gifted it. You know, just, I can't promise you anything. There's no predictability in my life at all. That's another reason, like, I felt decent at the moment, so I thought this is a nice way to distract myself. But that's enough. That's enough distraction for me and for you. Enjoy your day. Thanks for being here. See you soon. Keep moving that needle.